What's up guys, it's Woolf from Scratch and welcome back to another Civilization 5 guide. Last week I did the Siamese civilization, if you can check that out from last week. Really a civilization that really focuses on city-states. Their relations with city-states is absolutely essential and they can grow incredibly powerful from the city-state that I demonstrated from last week. So definitely check that guide out if you want to check out the Siamese civilization led by Rum Kum Hang. Try and pronounce it again. So this week we are doing a civilization released in its own little DLC pack. I'm trying to remember the first name now so I can get to it quickly. There it is. We're doing the Korean civilization led by Sejong.
Overwhelming benevolence towards the effort you took to provide a fair and just society for all was by your unquenched thirst for knowledge. Guided by your wisdom, the scholars of the Jade Hall developed Korea's first written language, Hangul, bringing the light of literature and science to the masses after centuries of literary darkness. Honorable Sejong, once more the people look to you for guidance. Will you rise to the occasion, bringing harmony and understanding to the people? Can you once again advance your kingdom's standing to such wondrous heights? Can you build a civilization that stands the test of time?
So as you can see, Korean's special ability is the Scholars of the Jade Hall, in which they have 2 sites for all specialists and for all great percentile improvements. This includes your academies, manufactories, holy sites, and customs house. I believe the last one is, yep. And you also receive a tech boost every time a scientific building and a wonder is built in your capital, which is Seoul. Now this includes things like libraries, observatories, public schools, research labs, so on. So you can see already, Korea is a really great science civilization that's their focused, and in fact they're probably one of the few civs that are on equal terms in terms of science, that's double negative there, with Babylon. They can really give Babylon a really good run for their money. And whereas Babylon gets the early bonus with their free great scientists at writing, Korea is more equal, more of an aggregate over time, more even, so to speak. And really that can make them either more, while equal to Babylon, it has its own advantage in its own right. It's also nice to note that Korea has a coastal start bias, and it's one of the few times I've actually had a coastal start bias. I've always been a bit unlucky with my start biases as Korea, but let's get on to their 2 unique units, quite different, and really do focus on Korea's unique playstyle, which is very different to, I guess, any of the other civilizations in this game, which makes them a bit more fun. So let's get straight to that.
Make measurable what is not so.
So upon researching physics, you'll unlock the Korean unique unit, the Hwacha. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, the Hwacha replaces the trebuchet, but is less of a trebuchet, but more of a very strong crossbowman. It's like this because, unlike the trebuchet, it does not, and it is a siege unit, it does not receive the bonus 33% or 200% bonus it has towards cities, but rather has a bonus towards units. So the Hwacha is less of a barbarian invasion. Better get ourselves a Hwacha. Shit. Anyway, the Hwacha is less of a trebuchet, less of a city-taking unit, and more of an anti-infantry weapon, of which it is extremely good at this, having 26 strength compared to the trebuchet's 14. But it is pretty pathetic against cities, and it does enjoy 1 extra site. You can bypass the lack of city bonus city advantageness by upgrading your catapult units, which will then mean you have an extremely useful anti-infantry siege city taking weapon of mass destruction. But overall this unit is designed for a defensive strategy as Korea, playing in a defensive manner while you silently tech behind the scenes. So it's all about defending your advantage, which it will be extremely useful in multiplayer games, as knowing combatants will want to take down your advantage before you get out of hand, but also against any AI around this period, such as Mongolia or Aztecs or any other aggressive civ that is inclined to the early game. So overall, a very good defensive unit, which is overall, as you'll see in the next units, what Korea's military play is all about, being defensive. So let's skip here. We are. We're losing ground to these barbarian horsemen. Not a big issue in the end, but we just don't want our lovely sugars and furs pillaged. So here's our Hwacha. Really cool unit because it fires rockets at people instead of throwing stones. And pew! Yay! Really cool unit. When everyone is throwing stones at people, you're firing rockets at people. So that should show pretty much that Korea has the edge, not just in technology, but also in really cool firing units. Right, so let's move to units.
Into the breeze, Royal Odysseus spread his sail, and with his rudder skillfully he steered.
And so upon the back of the nice little tech bonus Korea gets from building science buildings and wonders, such as in this case a university, we've skillfully steered to astronomy. Did you see what I did there? So upon reaching astronomy, Korea's final unique unit is the turtle ship, which is not a ship manned by turtles, but rather a replacement for the caravel. Oh, and there we are. Welcome to Renaissance. La-di-da-di-da. So this unit is different to the caravel in that it is incredibly stronger than the caravel, 36 strength over 20, but it cannot go in ocean tiles that are outside of your territory, which means, and I have a love-hate relationship with this unit, it is incredibly strong and a great defensive unit for when naval civs, especially players, come at you from the sea. And if you do want to take or go on a coastal offensive, then this unit is perfect. However, you just can't explore with this unit. And if you want to find the new world or go exploring, you're going to have to wait until you get to navigation, which for me, which is another 10 turns away. Not groundbreaking, but really, as Korea, I'm really aiming to go to architecture and grab the porcelain tower, and eventually onto scientific theory to grab public schools on a technology focus, not trying to grab units that will let me explore. So I guess the turtle ship is 1 foot forward, 1 foot backwards. And it really will hamper your attempts to get to, if you do want to find and found the World Congress, I was going to say the New World, but if you do want to find the New World and form the new Congress, the World Congress, my tongues are tied today, then this unit, the turtle ship, is not so great for that. But, incredibly strong unit, very good defensively. So, to summarize the Korean AI, firstly, Sejong is quite pleasant to deal with. He's reasonably peaceful, and he should always be in the high technology train of players, because even if he's playing rubbish, and the AI can do that, his bonus towards specialists will really give him the advantage in technology. He's a passive, friendly AI who has a high priority on defensive play. So in terms of social policies for Korea, definitely I would focus on tradition. Why? Because it has nice focus towards your capital, and that's what you've got to do as Korea, with your special ability giving you a science bonus towards any science building and wonder that's built in your capital. So having things like aristocracy, monarchy, more growth in your capital is really, really, really nice. Although it is not essential for Korea. They can go wide, they can go wide, they can go tall, and it's more as well to your preference, but any help to your capital is always appreciated to get the most out of that special ability. The other social policy that you must get is rationalism. I cannot stress that enough. On my notes I've underlined and underlined again in capital letters. Rationalism is pretty obvious. More great people, more science, and if you get a lucky start like I did, it's probably the best start I've ever had as a career, as a matter of fact, with lots of faith coming in, means more great people. In industrial era, you can spend all those lovely, lovely faith points on great scientists, whether that's to pop a technology to get you closer to building the lovely space race, or just to build a tile improvement and grab that +2 science from that. So in terms of ideology, once again, it doesn't really matter what you go to. While I would rather, just from my playstyle, being more preferred towards a tall style, and therefore I would go freedom just because of the boost you get towards specialists that are in freedom. However, if you do tend to be bulging out a bit, order is not so bad after all. And order after as well does have some really nice science perks. Regardless of whether you go wide and tall, you must utilize your specialists, which if you don't know how to check that, it's in here under, let's just open, let's get rid of all of our tabs. We have citizen management, and then of course specialist. There we go, lovely specialists, lovely science coming my way. So other things you must prioritize as Korea is your population growth, because after all, and especially in the late game, your population equates to your science. Science is the strategy you must focus on. Korea is a scientific civilization. And in terms of religion, if you do get a nice start, and if a faith building terrain such as desert or tundra, definitely focus on religious tenets that give you emphasis on population growth, because of what I said, population equals science, as well as holy sites, manufactories, etc. that I've said before, +2 science, all adds up very nicely. So finally, in terms of wonders, in terms of prioritizing which wonders to go after, obviously it's the scientific wonders, Great Library, Porcelain Tower. While Porcelain Tower does not give you your science bonus, that gives you the added tech, you will get the free Great Scientist and the bonus towards research agreements that comes from that wonder, which is, hey, it's a good trade-off, isn't it? Not having that little bonus that your special ability gives you for a free Great Scientist and more research agreements. So as Korea as well, focusing on research agreements is good, and just your general science stuff. Simple as that, and that will make you overall a really strong scientific civilization. And even if you don't want to go down the science path, the science bonuses will help you even go down to a domination victory, although I would not recommend it as much as a science victory. Definitely, if you're going to look for other victories other than science, domination is the way to go, although you can go cultural if you are going for a tall strategy. So to summarize the two units they have, Korea is all about defensive, while you tech behind the scenes. If anyone does try any incursions into your territory, try to put you down a scientific step, then you've got your Hwacha, beautiful medieval anti-infantry weapon, not a siege weapon, unless you upgrade from catapults, which if you do want that capability, I would recommend definitely doing so. And your turtle ships, which will really step down, and they can really clash with frigates and they can hold their own here. So definitely it's a great counter against players, especially players who will utilize naval units the best. AI is not yet the Napoleon of the seas, unlike Total War Rome 2. And especially against players that are playing as England or any other naval civilization. So, that's my guide to the Korean civilization, a really good scientific civilization that must emphasize defense, and it can do it very well. So, thank you for watching. Next week I'll be back with another Civilization 5 guide. As always, thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more. Wolf out.